Okay, I'm here. Screen. Yay! And now we are almost there. Because if we do this, we should be there, yeah? Almost. Almost. And now everything should be fine. Headset on. Zoom in a bit. And let's go live. Let's go live. Everywhere. Now let's see. Let's see if anybody actually figures out the meaning of the title and if there are any questions around it and what is Journal Dope about? Because people are still asking questions. What should we do? How do we start? What's going on? However, let's look at what's actually going on. And you have a hint in the title. The title says it all. Our first from zero experience member that got to that place. So let's see who wants to do the math. Hello, Cuz. Hello, Cuz. Welcome. Who wants to do the math and figure out how much is that per year? How much does somebody that makes that per day? How much do they make per year? Before tax, after tax? I wanna know if you're happy. If you'd be in that position, if you'd be happy before tax, after tax, how much somebody can make per year if they make that much per day. So let's see who has their calculator, who can do the math in their head and figure out what's going on. Hey, Marius. Hello. So this is the reason I did not sleep since yesterday. It's actually morning. It's what's 6 a.m. in the morning, and I haven't yet closed an eye. Thinking about the news that I received last night. I was doing a TikTok, and after the TikTok, one of my members told me like, "Dude, go to sleep. It's late in the night. Let's talk more about it tomorrow." But by the way, you should change my presentation because whatever you presented about me is no longer valid. So yeah, one of our members made it to 1100 per day and more. So let's see. Any questions? This happens in London in 2022. It happens in London in 2022. It's 20 August and people are getting crazy offers, 50,000, 60,000, 100,000, 150, 200,000 and more. Yeah, some people are earning 100 per day, some people are earning 500 per day, some people are earning 700 per day, some people are earning 1100 per day. So let's see. It all happens in London. Now the question is, if you want to make this kind of money, what does a person in their position do? What type of effort, what type of work they do? Why do big IT companies, pay so much for special people, for people with high skills? And how do you get to be someone with high skills so quickly? And how do you change your career? And how do you grow? Maybe from 0 to 30,000, from 30,000 to 50, and from 50 to 70, and you call it a win? Or how do you grow like one of our best members so far? 100,000 each year, because he managed to get to 300,000 or more per year in 3 years. So if you do the math, you kind of figure it out. It's a growth of 100,000 pounds per year from zero experience. What is Wow Dope? Well, whatever is Wow Dope, you should search it. You should Google it. You should ask us. You should watch us, because it happens. It has been happening for the past 5 years. And this is just crazy. I couldn't sleep last night. I could not sleep. So let's see. Fire up the questions. Whatever you want to ask, just ask. I'm going to be on fire for a few days, just like every single time I receive another news from one of our members that they got another job offer, that they got a promotion, or they switch company to a better project, a more challenging one. Let's see. 1100 per day. How does that sound? Whenever I heard it for the first time, I couldn't believe it that somebody can make 1100 per day, and yet it happens. I'm gonna do some coding, by the way. While we talk about it, I'm gonna do some coding. So let's see, what can we do? Some new project. GitHub.com, and I'll zoom in a bit. Hopefully the ones on the stream can see it. Hopefully. Just a second, cause it just stopped again. Why does it stop? The screen stops from being streamed. Yay. And now it's streamed back. And I can do a free full at least. And hopefully I'm here and we can see coding. Or not. Yes, finally. So on YouTube you can definitely see some coding over there. Or we will be doing some coding. Like that. Whoever wants to do some coding, the thing that we do to earn 50,000 per year, 100,000 per year, 200,000 per year, the thing that we do, let's do it. Let's do it now. Let's play with something. Something for beginners, something for advanced. Let's see what type of audience is in the morning, not sleeping. And if you do like it, well, join the YouTube live. There is a live on TikTok, there's a live on YouTube, and on the YouTube live, there'll be some coding starting from scratch. Let's create a new project, and I'll create this one here from 0 to 1100 per day. I'm not exactly sure what the project will be about. However, why not create something? So I got this project from 0 to 1100 per day. Let's figure out what we can do. I'll open a terminal soon. And in this terminal, I'll cd into my fun directory because I like to have fun while working. And then into Marian's Burla. And here I will get, let's copy this naming over here from 0 because I'm lazy. I don't want to type it in git clone, but I type other stuff like this one. And by the way, I'll switch it for whoever wants to be on TikTok and see what I'm doing and doesn't want to join YouTube. Then I'm switching the camera to this side so you can see a bit of what I'm doing at least. Hopefully. Git clone, git at github.com, then it's colon Marian's Burla would be my username, and the name of the project is PugStarter. I want to make it easy so people can understand something of it. Okay, and let's give it a name of from 0 to 100 per day. Yay, cd from 0, clear. That clear is not clear. And maybe I can move it up more to the center so everybody can see it better. Yay. Kind of. So we got a clone. Let's open Visual Studio Code. And with Visual Studio Code opened, maybe make it a bit taller. And apparently like that should be fine. And we can see that we have a bunch of files over here. And there are some folders. We're going to make use of some of those ones, but not of everything. So let's quickly open package.json. And into package.json, I will go and change one thing, which is this GitHub URL. And I'll leave Marianne's bullet the same because I'm gonna build this project on the same username. Hey, that's not command B. I want command V. And I think that would be for package.json. Cool. Now let's go change some files over here. Probably we are importing from component a test. So probably we can play with test from component. We got test. And this says this is a test. Well, this is no longer a test. It's from 0. Then it's a paragraph 2. And then it's an h2 1100 per day. Okay. If you don't know how you can do it yet, at least you know what WowDope can do for you. Yay! So let's see what happens now, because we created this kind of structure in HTML. It looks quite simple. It has a header, it has a paragraph, then a header 2 and another paragraph. We can also create some spacings so it's easier for us to read. Now if I aim to open the console and run yarn, just yarn, Volta pin yarn pin node. Yay, it works now. This Volta thing, I think I need to do Volta for every project now. So NVN wouldn't require that anyway. I'll go on with it until I figure out if it's actually a good choice or not. So now let's see if I had any questions. There are some question marks. Mihai is asking, hello, what are the steps? Do you need to register somewhere or thank you? Well, firstly, just watch us, get to know us. We've been here for many, many years and probably you're new. So watch what we do and at the right point, you'll figure out where exactly you can apply and so on. So far, I'm just enjoying the good news. There's another big news for me just before I got my job. My son was also born, so now I have 3 children. He's young of age, only 2 weeks born. And then I got this big news. Somebody managed from zero, somebody from our Wow DOP community, whatever we call ourselves, WowDope, managed to get to 1100 per day and over. 1100 per day every day. That's a lot of responsibility for somebody as a web developer. So probably you can figure out it's not about creating buttons. It's not about putting 2 colors and 3 shapes and call it a day. It's more than that. It's actually delivering products at a very high level and creating a lot of value actually on the IT market, creating a better web. So how does somebody make it so quickly, so far, from 0 to 300,000 and more per year, or from 0 to 1100 per day? Well, there are questions and questions, but you could be somebody who could start practice every day, somebody who could get hired on their first 35,000 salary and then work your way up to then 50, 100, and so on. See, some people grow maybe 1,000 per year, some people grow 5,000 per year, some people grow 25,000 per year on year, and some people grow 100,000. And so far he didn't stop. Let's see. In the 4th year, will he keep growing? Let's see. Will he keep growing? But I mean, like, will he keep growing as his revenue, his income? I'm gonna continue doing some coding, and from time to time I'm gonna watch the YouTube chat to see if there are any questions on YouTube, and I'm going to also watch the TikTok chat. Bună dimineața, Teofil. Hello, bună dimineața. So let's switch back to English. I'm gonna speak mainly in English. However, if anybody prefers to ask anything in Romanian, I'm gonna do my best to either answer it in Romanian or English. Yes, Romanians are quite good in IT. Romanians are making history, writing history. So, where was I? Is this working actually on start or dev? Something should work. So yes, we got a link here that we don't need. A shuffle game. What's this potato zit? Is this something I made? Ah, yes, it is something I made, and I forgot to change it. Doesn't really matter. So I got here from 0 to 1100 per day. So probably if I take the menu out, as far as I remember, there is some menu somewhere, and I don't know if it's in the background. Okay, so in this one we got top menu, and top menu should be in layout in base. Yeah, I can see a top menu there. So let's comment this one out because we don't need the top menu. We just need from 0 to 1100 per day. Quick, a very quick, very quick website. It is a website because it is. It doesn't have too much styling. It only has some text. However, this is how everybody starts in their first day. In their first day, somebody will write some code, and the way they will write the code, it doesn't really matter how they write it. At some point, somebody who starts as a web developer and works their way up, they will create some HTML. And this is what I just created earlier in a quicker way. I've created an HTML that has a doc type at the start. Every single time you open an HTML file type, you'll see something like this at the start. Then it generated for me an HTML tag, a head tag, a title one with welcome to Packstarter, which I don't really like, welcome to Packstarter. So let's switch that. I'm not gonna continue. I'm not gonna continue. There's a bad title. Wait a second. Where's the title coming from? From base? Oh, okay, welcome to Packstarter now. Welcome to Wow Dop. So as soon as I save this, I can see here, welcome to Wow Dop. Actually, I can even split them and I can see everything in action. I'm gonna zoom just a bit out so you can see both of them. Now let's see if we are to add here an h1 tag with something. And as soon as I save, you should watch in more or less this area. Just a second. Control tab, yeah. So more or less in this area, something will happen as soon as I save. Something related to this h1 will happen over here. Now let's see what happens. Yay, an h1 with the lesser sign, the greater sign, or the left angle bracket, right angle bracket. Everything is filled in. So either I write HTML like this, either I write PUG like this. It doesn't really matter. In the browser, it's always what it needs to be. So in order to build a website, you can do it at least in two ways whenever you start as a total beginner. Let's see now which ones we could continue working with. Probably this one. Let's see if there are any questions. So no questions, more likes can attract more views. I do have one like, so. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, John. From 0 to 1100 per day. From 0 to 1100 per day. As from zero experience, actually. From zero experience. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Even web developers that are web developers are going to look at this in a strange way because most web developers don't make this kind of money. Only about 5 to 10% of all web developers in the world are making good money. The rest of them are making okay money, I would say. Good enough. I was one of them for a long time. As web developer. Yay. So let's see if we can describe a person in this position. I think I don't need everything like this. Maybe I can move this one into that test because it's easier to understand. Command pp test. Yeah, this is cleaner here. And then we got this one as well. Let's split it and then let's look at what happens. Da-da-dum. This one should be one indented. So now I got multiple H1s. Every time we write in this PUG file, we get some code generated. So let's start to write some stories. P or H2 before he or she, before the start, before day zero. So what do we have here? So far we got an HTML with a body, a div of class content, and so far an H1 and an H2. And an H2. Kind of hard for me to pronounce some words in the morning. Let me drink some water. Let's see now. Is it better? Probably, hopefully. So before day zero, he used to work in jobs related to sales. At least is my current, is how I remember it. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's think of, let me see out of memory. So how do you translate assurance insurances? Okay, so another paragraph. He used to work for insurance companies as a cold, it's not cold like that, cold caller. Could be cold caller one word or not entirely sure because I'm not native English. I could search it anyway. So he used to work for insurance companies as a cold caller. And one quote I remember, remember, I don't know how to spell remember. I think this is remember, yeah. One quote I remember was, and now I'm trying to create some mystery over here as well, so I'm playing with words anyway. So if one would make a sale or two out of 100 calls, he would be doing really well. So now, what does that say? Because you start to meet a bit the person that really made it to 1100 per day, right? So this person, before they started practice with us on a daily basis, this person at some point in their life, he's done a lot of stuff, right? And how about this thing? If you get one or two sales when you're working for an insurance company, and you get one or two sales out of probably 100, I'm not entirely sure about the numbers. I had never been in this position. This is what I recall from his stories. So yeah, I was trying to make a mystery, but I already said he like 2 times. Yeah, there's no much mystery left. Like 3 times. Yeah, like 3 times. That's a mystery. That is a mystery. Is he a he or is he a he? Or is he a he? Because he's a he. Yeah. I was trying to not use he or she, so it would be a mystery, but I managed to F it up. So anyway, what I heard from his story is that he used to be a person in a position that he would take a lot of no's every single day. A lot of no's. Like, okay, I'm not gonna buy anything. I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm gonna close the phone up on you and so on. So he used to be a person who would see some value where everybody else or most of other people would quit. And he was in that position for a while. I'm not sure if he was for a month or a year. We can ask him anyway. But think about this. Whenever he was going to interviews, the interviews that I was preparing with him for, whenever he was going to interviews, he didn't have that mentality like, oh, I'm gonna go to an interview and I fail. If I fail one interview, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna be sad for 3 months. No, he's definitely not that person. He goes to 1 or 2 or 3 or 50 interviews if it's needed. He goes to 1 or 2 or 3 or enough interviews until he gets at least one job offer. That's the type of person he is. He doesn't go back like, okay, I messed three interviews up. Now I should quit my entire life and my entire career. No, he just goes on, and he usually gets job offers quite easily. Maybe from the first one or 2 or 3 or 5 interviews, he gets at least one job offer. So he has quite a good turnover, I would say, in terms of success rate. Now, let's see, because not everybody is used to, go some places and take a no. This person is somebody who doesn't really care about taking no's. He only counts how many good encounters happen, right? So this is before. Let's see what else, because I know more about him. He used to be running a real estate business. Well, until something unexpected happened out of his control, which made him lose all that he had: his business, his income, his job, well, everything, the place where he was living. So he used to run. He used to be running. Probably it's in English, a real estate business, or at least he used to own. Own and run a real estate business. And at some point, life threw him a piece, and he lost literally everything. That's the position. That's the position this person was in. He lost everything. He was looking for a new job. He told me about going to interviews and trying to figure out a way out of wherever he was, because he needed to find a job. He needed to find a place to live, and for him, for himself and his girlfriend, and also for 2 dogs. Those dogs are like children for them. So it was quite a big thing, quite a stressful moment for him. Like, okay, we just hit rock bottom. What do we do? So this is the type of person, and this is the type of motivation that he had behind to keep pushing every single month and every single day and every single hour, and progress from 0 to 90, from 0 to 90, from 90 to 100, and over 100, to from 100 to more than 100, to 200, from 200 to more than 200, and so on. So this is the type of person that understands the opportunity that presents itself on the job market, on the IT job market in London. There are a lot of great opportunities, and it's not like those are jobs for anybody. Those are jobs for only for the best, in terms of a company has a big issue or more issues, and the people inside the company do not have the experience to deal with that issue, and there are just a few people that can do that can kind of fix everything for them, and get everything back on track, sales back on track, everything get back on track. If they have whatever issue they will have, those are the type of person that I'm talking about. So I would say top 10 best web developers probably in the world. top 10% best web developers probably in the world. This is what we do as WowDope. If you're a junior, you're gonna be probably in the top 10% best juniors in the world that ever exist. As long as you're doing practice daily with all the projects that we work on, with all the people, with all the knowledge that we share among each other, this is what we do. So let's see, what does it mean? 1100 per day. I can't even sleep. I'm gonna sleep at some point, but probably I have so much energy and so much caffeine of this news, just crazy. I wish I could sleep, but I can't sleep right now. It's too crazy. Now let's see. This would be something a junior would do. A junior would be able to write, not a junior, a starter, maybe a passionate would be able, a junior would be able to do more than this. But if you want to start your first day, start with your HTML tags. Those HTML tags are so easy. You can find more on W3 Schools, on MDN Network, or just Google HTML for beginners, and probably any content that you encounter would be good. This is what I've created so far. It doesn't do much. It's just some structure. Just put some tags before some content that I randomly wrote and created right now. This content never existed on the web before. This is just created by me. This is how you create websites as a starter. As a junior, as a mid, as an expert, as a senior, as both seniors, you might make exactly the same content, probably looking not exactly the same, but in a similar manner. However, the amount of code that you'll be writing and the amount of value that you'll be adding to that particular application will be more than just writing simple HTML tags like this with H1, H2. This would be like the basics, something you do without thinking. You'd be thinking of other things, not of those ones. Those would be, again, something so basic you don't even think about them. However, how does somebody make 1100 per day? Well, this is how they start, and this is what they do on a daily basis, and they never stop doing this. However, they also do more than just HTML. They do CSS and they do JavaScript. And more than just those ones, combinations in different projects and different solutions that solve different challenges and different problems that each and everyone have. So this, if you're asking how you start, this is how you start. You start with the beginning and you gain more and more and more and more experience. And hopefully, we'll get more of them hitting this mark, because there are not a lot of people that go so high. So now let's see. Alin Roșoiu. Thank you for the follow, Alin Roșoiu. Salut, Paul. Hello, Paul. If you go to Romania and you ask people in Romania, because I've been born into Romania, I've worked as a web developer in Romania. I've tried doing business in Romania. I know what Romania is for web developers. If you go and tell any web developer in Romania, I would say there is a chance maybe 1 in 10,000 will think about it without laughing. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Everybody else are gonna tell you, well, this is impossible. Nobody can make 100,000. Nobody can make 150,000. Nobody can make 200,000 or 300,000 per year as a web developer, because I make only 10,000 per year. Because I make only 5,000. Nobody else can make that much. Because I didn't figure it out. Nobody can. This is kind of the mentality that you encounter in Romania, and I wasn't, let's say, an adept of it, but I wasn't even aware of anything else. So if somebody would tell me, I would be skeptic as well. Septic. I don't know exactly. Thinking oddly about what I hear. However, it still happens. If you want to find more about it, Google us. You got some profiles over here. You got, I think, 10 to 20 profiles as in examples of people that succeeded with us on wowdope.com. And we'll be continuing to do some coding and some more info, some more presentation videos on YouTube, on Join WowDope, and so on. However, this is my moment to be happy about. I'm not gonna name a person. I'm not gonna name no person. It could be him or him. Could be her or him. Could be him or him or him or him. Or more of them, but one of them made it to 1100 per day. One of them made it to 1100 per day. Whoever he is or she is, it's in this list. So wowdope.com. And if you want to find more about me, Google me, Marian Zburlea. Go on LinkedIn, find more about my career and what made me get to that place, get to this place where I'm going to be the one who changed. I'm already the one who changed the lives of so many. I mentor them from zero experience into jobs as web developers. However, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never expected anything that was happening. It just happened, and I'm glad it happened. I'm glad every single time. I'm surprised about our successes every single time something happens that is out of the ordinary. It's kind of legendary. It's, I would say, not kind of. It is definitely legendary what happens over here. And it keeps happening year on year, better and better from year to year. Yeah, in the last 5 years, we've never stopped growing in successes and everything. And so far, one of those people present on WowDope has made it to 1100 per day. Some other people work an entire month for 1100 per day. And he or she makes that. What does that make? Makes it like, compared to those people, like 20 times more. That's different, right? That's different level. 20 times more means somebody works for 40 years and somebody works for 2 years. That's the difference. Somebody works for 40 years to get to a place. Somebody works for 2 years to get to the same place. That's a big difference. However you want to take your computer. If you don't have your computer, just control space, calculator, and figure out, do the numbers. See where you can get. It's easy. Numbers don't lie. People lie. Numbers always add, always subtract, always divide in a certain way based on certain rules. And if you follow the same path, you get to the same result every single time. If you follow the same path, you get to the same result every single time. That's what numbers do. For numbers don't lie. So do your math. The jobs are on the net. I'm gonna help you get those jobs. Indeed. Find senior web developer. Figure out where I can get you. Senior web developer. No, not senior teacher. Not senior teacher. Senior web developer, this one. Figure out, probably in half a year, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, doesn't really matter. Figure out where I can take you. A senior web developer, if you see a job, we can look at it and I can recommend if you should go for it or not. If you should prepare for everything that job requires from you to be successful at. Look, 100,000. Beef. That's it. 100,000 per year. See, lots of jobs. And if you don't take them, somebody else will, because those people, those companies, those projects need somebody. That's why they put those jobs. They need somebody. They need somebody to help them with that project. And like it or not, if it's not you, it's somebody else. If it's not you, it's somebody else. Those people, those projects, those companies are not going to stop just because you didn't train, just because you didn't wanted to succeed and you didn't do everything it was in your power to start practicing and gaining the knowledge that everybody else in the world has done in order to get to that place. This is teachable, just like you learn to ride a bike, just like you learn a new language. If you're Romanian, you at some point learn speaking English or speaking French or any other kind of language. And it goes also the other way around, although it's not quite common for English people to learn different languages. However, yes, there are a lot of people in this world that learn a different language than the language of the country or of the people that they were born next to or somewhere in the vicinity, whatever. You get the point. There are a lot of people that learned a different language. So if there are a lot of people that learned a different language, you can learn this one too. It's easy. It's the language of speaking to computers and creating web interfaces. It's so easy. It's one of the easiest that you can start. It's one of the easiest in the world. Speaking HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to the browser. This is a very simple example. I'm making use of all of them, although you don't see much. You only see some POG and HTML. I'm making use of some basic CSS software, and I'm also making use of JavaScript. Although you don't see it here, it happens. In the background, it happens. JavaScript is also always used over here in this project. So with just HTML, with just CSS, how can you become so powerful? How can you become so confident? How can you become so valuable that other companies will want to make you an offer, will want to send you a contract, will want to hire you, contract you to get your services provided to them? How can you get in a position just like anybody else, so you can be the one applying for those jobs and getting those offers and start earning a life that not many have. Not many have. I'm gonna say to you, not many have 50,000 per year. Not many earn 60,000 per year. Not many earn 70 or 100,000 per year. Those are just a few. And if you are already there, well, my congratulations. Firstly, you're doing great. You don't need to do anything else. You just need to do the same or better. So if you're already there, then this might not be for you unless you're working in an environment that's not like an office friendly one with less stress and less work. Maybe you're working in an environment where you depend on bad weather and good weather and so on, or on seasonal changes. If it's good weather, then the business is running. If it's bad weather, then everybody stays home and no money. So if you're in a position where you don't have security from month to month, well, this could be one of the jobs where I would say I would call this one, being a coder, and especially like us web developers, is the job of the future. One of the jobs of the future. There are other jobs as well, probably in finance, probably in anything that are related to money. You need to go to university for those ones. You need to do a master degree. You need to spend lots of years and lots of money to pass through all of those ones and lots of effort. It doesn't happen overnight. While this one doesn't happen overnight either, but it happens a lot quicker than the other ones. So now you might be in a position where, I don't know, you're in a bad 9 to 5, or at least you're looking for something better. You might be in an even worse position. Something happens so worse in your life that you just want to get out of it, and you can't really get out of it because it's not easy. Life doesn't just smiles at you. So maybe this is one of the ways you get out of that bad thing that happens to you. Everybody gets their bad things. I get mine all the time. Even if I'm successful, I just jump into bigger things and I just have bigger worries. For me, it's everything. Everything is bigger for me. Worries are bigger, problems are bigger, successes are bigger. So now let's see. Any questions? Aline Marian joined. Hello, Aline Marian. Hello. And hello, Aline Roshoyu. If I haven't mentioned you already, but let's see. Anything on YouTube? No questions on YouTube or on the multi-stream. Whoever thought that this can happen? Whoever thought web developers can do so good? Because I'm pretty sure if you met web developers, most of you never met web developers or thought web developers can provide so much value on the IT market. Most of you think of people who create 1 or 2 pages, they put some images over there, somehow they move some icons from one side to another with a small animation, and that's it. And somehow all the other websites in the world that are still websites, they are created by magical creatures called the Unicoder cones, whatever, unicorns, code unicorns. Well, there are no code unicorns. There are people just like me, just like you, that at some point started and built their first website, their first button, their first tag, their first hello world in HTML, in CSS, and they continued since they started without stopping, because it's so much fun to create every single day. And every single day you create something, you got the power, the magical power of this godly invention. The invention is called Command Z, or on Windows machines, because I have a keyboard here for Windows. See, it's Control Z. Yeah, those two, Control Z. and Command Z anyway. Control Z and Command Z. The magical keys that everyone should mind. Those are the magical keys that will help you go over almost every single obstacle you'll encounter, or at least so many you wouldn't even have to think too much of starting to figure out what coding can mean and so on. Command Z, what does that do? For people that don't use computers too much, that's undo. That's undo. It gives you the power every single time you did something wrong to go back to the previous version that was correct, or as many versions before using Command Z. Just you write a line wrong, you undo it to the previous version where that line wasn't written. You write a character wrong, you do Command Z. This is why I started coding. As soon as I saw Command Z and the power of Command Z, I switched from any other thoughts in my head to becoming somebody who speaks to computers. Later on, I will become a web developer. This is what told me, Marian, you should start working with computers. You have undo. Where every single time you do something wrong, you can undo it and try again. Every single time you do it another time wrong, then you can undo it and you can try again. And this is how I started as a self-taught, without any courses, with zero experience, my entire career as a web developer. And this is how almost every single one of us started before this I would say big change in big revolution where everybody shares their knowledge through video, through audio, through blogs, vlogs, and so many TikToks and Instagrams and so on. The web is blowing right now. It's growing so fast and you're not realizing it. So if the web is growing so fast, if there is so much business that needs interfaces so they can appear on the web, so they can sell their products and services, who do you think builds all those interfaces and all those websites? Do you think they're magical robots? Yes, there are some simple websites that you can build with some tools that can help you build very basic ones. But who builds the tools that builds very basic websites? Because see, those tools are still built by web developers. So if you're using Wix or Vistia or whatever, Vistia is actually something else, Wix or Squarespace or whatever. Yes, you can build your website as a beginner and you have something to be shown on the web. Who builds those tools? I'm asking you. Is it maybe you're a Christian and you think Jesus came and said, well, let's build this AI that builds magical websites for people that don't know who builds them. So they are just like cars. There are cars that value maybe under 10,000. There are cars that you pay 50,000 per year for them. There are cars, I don't know, Bugatti and Lamborghini, you pay millions for them. There's a difference in value between a Toyota and a Lamborghini. For sure, both cars take you from point A to point B, but there is a big difference. Just as every single, let's say, impact somebody as a web developer can have in a company, there's a big difference. Some people might go at work and at 5 o'clock, they would already have half of their feet out of the building, out of the area. They would leave exactly at 5:30. And some people, it doesn't matter if they leave at 5 or 5, 6 or 7 or 4, as long as they have done their job and everything else is done and there's literally nothing else for them to do, they can leave earlier or sooner. If there is something for them to do and they know it's important, they might just stay like half an hour, nobody asks them. But those are the type of people that by doing that, they build character, and by doing that, they build connections and they build recommendations and they get very quickly very high. Because you see, some people might say, no, I don't want to stay 1 hour late. But yeah, you don't want to stay 1 hour late because you want to go at home and watch some, I don't know, football, or you want to create some more value, either for yourself or for the company. Those are the type of people that get there, not the ones that, okay, I want a course, and that magical course, I want to earn 100,000 pounds without doing much in life. Because somebody's gonna, well, I'm gonna give you a shortcut how you can get that quicker, but the effort still has to be done. I'm gonna give you the shortcut how to do the effort very quickly, but the effort still has to be done. So now think about it. It's not magic, it's effort, it's practice, and it's structure. It's a process that helps you do exactly what you need to do, which is to focus on practicing becoming that person able to build those kind of websites and starting from zero experience just like everyone else. So what do you think about this? If you'd be in the position to earn 500 a day or 1000 per day, what would change in your life? Because maybe now thinking about what would change in your life, if you'd be in that position 1 year or 2 years or 3 years later, what would change in your life that is not changing right now and you want it so bad? You might even forgot about it. What is your dream? What's your motivation to actually go through such a transformation? Because think about it, it's like the army or worse in terms of effort, but it's so much fun because you're creating something and nobody puts you to do push-ups. You're actually going to interpret designs, and you're going to make buttons, and you're going to make menus, and you're going to learn about the relation between one another and why will the user come to your website, and how can you present the data in a way that's easy to read. How can you make it that you can emphasize some elements and some elements not? How can you make it that it's optimized for search engines? How is it optimized for users? How is it optimized for the business? See, it's not just buttons and CSS, it's more than that. And you don't get that out of a course because there's no such course in the world and that has ever been built with 100% of the experience that goes inside the project. Because for that, you might need to, I don't know, spend maybe 10,000 hours watching that course with all the bits and bobs. So go for courses if you think courses are the reason people go and get hired, or maybe start practicing and building real products so you can get used to build any kind of product and get used to just look at any kind of issue and figure out a way to solve it based on pure practice and repetition and solving issue after issue, ticket after ticket, problem after problem. You get into that position where no matter what is thrown to you, you can react to it with your team. You can ask for help, you can provide help, you can be part of creating a better web. And you can start it with zero experience, just like everybody else in the world has done it before you. Everybody else in the world was not born with web development in their head. Everybody else at some point, they wrote their first line. They've seen their first error. Everybody at some point who's a senior, they've seen at some point their 10,000th error, their 15,000th error, and so on. It's just part of the process. If you don't get scared about it and you embrace it, then you can see the value of it. Once you get something out of your hand, something online, ooh, this is an ugly sound. Something online, there's a big ugly sound on my stream. Once you get your first project online, which we will get right now, by the way, we started our first project. Let's get it online. Let's see how easy it is. So far, we've wrote some code over here, not too much, and maybe we want to publish this code. So in order to publish this code, let's go on TikTok and figure out the names of people online. And I can see Razvan and Yonel Visan that are my top viewers, or at least this is what it shows to me. So if Razvan and Yonel Visan are online, let's do some online things. Okay, let's create a small list. And in order to create a list, let's type UL for unordered list, and then a list item, Razvan, and then C, Yonel Visan. Li, Yonel V, Li, and Marian, which is I. Let's do a paragraph. Are online on TikTok. Yay! So now you got created over here an unordered list with 3 Li items and another paragraph. Now let's see in the browser how it looks. Yay! Razvan, Yonel V, and Marian, which is I'm not sure if this is correctly in English. I don't really care about it. Are online on TikTok. Hopefully you can see it. Yay! Now publishing it online. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna be mad. Let me not be mad. yarn deploy. If everything works without an error, we will be happy. Come on. Yes, no errors, which means we should be happy. Git status. No, I'm not happy anyway. Git remote remove origin. Git remote add origin git at github.com Marian Zburlea, and the name is from 0 to 1100 per day. Git push -u origin main. I'll explain all of those ones later on. So far I see I don't have rights, which is bad. I don't have rights. Cat. Well, actually I should have rights anyway. cat.ssh / d rsa pub. Okay. Let's copy this and make sure that it is on GitHub. Actually, I think I know why. npmrc might be the one that messes up. Okay, mv / npmrc to the same npmrc old. Now let's see git pull. Make sure the correct rights. So I don't have rights right now to push this one. It's not gonna work. It's off. That VPN is off. Still gonna check for the key. Maybe the key is no longer there and I remove my key. Okay, so if I go on settings, and then SSH and GPG keys, new SSH key, hopefully max. Where is that code? Two 6 7 680. Key already in use. Yes, it is already in use. So that's ugly. Let's try HTTPS. Maybe HTTPS is going to be better, and it's gonna leave me alone. Okay, git remote -v. Otherwise, we are going to debug some other things, which is related to networking, not web development. So git remote remove origin. And now let's go on the web, on the project itself. Your repositories. Okay, this one, HTTPS. But then it's gonna ask me for a password. That's messed up anyway. I need the SSH to work. ls-lh. So npmrc is no longer here, which is good. So then what does it want from me? cdfun, Marian Zburlea, from 0 to hired, and git remote -v, git remote add origin, push minus u origin main minus f. Yay, and it works. Finally, now we can deploy. So npmrc was somehow cached after I moved it, and that was pointing to a different private say source of repositories for a client I'm working, and now I've disabled that for the moment, and I pushed my code, which is not much. However, the code is now accessible. If you go on github.com, Marian Zburlea / from 0 to 11,000 per day, you can see some basic code over here with all that we have written, mostly inside the component and inside test and test PUG. And if you look at the file, this is the test. Maybe I didn't commit it. Command B, git status. If we see some reds, yeah, we see some reds. Git add dot, which means we are staging our changes, and we can talk more about everything and in detail. So far, I'm just having some fun. It's morning. I can't sleep, and I'm going crazy. So git status now, we should see to if green, because now we are staged. And git commit -m. Yay! Fire questions away. Then git push, and then we should have the changes on the web at some point. Okay, so from 0 to 100 per day, 1100 per day, SRC, then component, test, and we got more content, more of it. Now, the code that generates a website that I was talking about is online. You can see it. And for every website that or project that will be building, you can see every single change that we are making. Now, let me click over here and then double click Marian Zburlea for a second. And then remove that .com at the end and add an INO. And then go before GitHub, paste, and dot. Hey, something is extra. And let's see what happens now. This is a URL or a path or a web address, whatever you want to call it, that is online. And if you browse it right now, you'll see the content of this page. You'll see this web page being online, not styled, but online, with all the content that we just written, and you can visit this one. Actually, let me see if I can paste it in the chat on YouTube, as well as new here, my friend Dan. Hello, hello, new there. Let's see if I can paste it on TikTok somehow, so you can visit. If you're online, you can visit somehow this link, if I can manage to get to that place. So this is me, or this is I, and if I go live, I should see the chat live, and this would be a link. Hey, shh. Yay, done. Now I can see me multiple times. So there is a link over there if you're live. I just pasted it in the chat with the simple website that we've built. And if you're interested, we can add some styles to it and make it look nice, because right now it doesn't really look nice. And we could have it look nicer, not just black and white. So, audio starter. Press Command Q. Type rm-rf. Yeah. Let me see if I can put the chat somehow in this position so I can see it. Command Option R, Command Option F, G, Command G, no? Yes. So where's the chat now? Is the chat gone? Okay, so the chat is only away as long as I keep it open like that or bigger. I don't know how to deal with it anyway. I can click on this one and I can see the chat behind. Yay! Now I can see TikTok and questions. So the most dangerous animal. Please type remove everything. Please press command plus Q. That's nice. Joel joined. Hello, Joel. How are you? Hello, Kata. This is a website that doesn't have much in it. However, we can work on it and add more of something. Hello, Jiru. Hello, Alex. From 0 to 1100 per day. Something that happened that wowed the pay. Now let's do something more. Some more coding. Get out. Like that, yes. If we want to add the style, that wouldn't be a big of an issue to add the style, at least in this type of project. I'll just simply create a new file, name test, me and you, because I can name it anything I want, .scss, and then I'm going to take this file with scss. Come on, Mr. File, come with me. And then I'm going to link it in our style. In order to link it in our style, it kind of has to go, hey, leave me alone. It kind of has to go all over here. So this file, the CSS one, needs to go out here, then so on into SRC, and into SRC it needs to go to be imported into style. So it's not like boom, has to go like in a tree like that, and then out like that. Doesn't know how to shoot through. It only knows how to go out and in a folder. So outside of a folder and inside the folder. That's all you can do. You cannot just shoot through. So with that said, let's go to style CSS and write some code over here. Command B. And now it's big enough for everybody to see. And YouTube works as well properly, at least I see it. Import. This would be the name of the file, and it also needs a complete path, because otherwise it wouldn't find it. Component slash, no. Where was it? In test. Okay. So test slash test menu. What is it? Yeah, should be like that. Now let's create a selector here. We'll select everything, and we want to add a border of 10 pixel solid and red. And then we also want to add a padding of 0.5 rem for everything and anything. And this would actually create something interesting. It's not much that we've written, but it's going to create something interesting. No, it's not, but it's going to, without a but. No buts. No buts. Now, let's go back to the page, and we started to see lots of red colors here and there. Let's make it a little bit smaller and make it probably 5 pixels. And now it refreshed over there. And maybe we can make this red a different color. And with an alpha of probably 50 or 0.5. Yeah, now we got some transparency and we start to see more of the squares that happen over here. Yeah, we added some styling, I would say. Maybe we can do content and everything inside content. Now, if you look at it, it doesn't look that bad. So everything has a padding. Not sure about this one. Why is it not different? Actually, it is. Yeah. Let's do also display flex. Now everything goes wired. Or anyway, and the gap just like padding. Yay! And with not so much CSS, we made this look a little bit better. At least it's a little bit better readable with not much CSS. So all we've done is to declare for all the elements inside the body a border of whatever pixels, 5 pixels, which created this red lining. And if you are to look at the website at 100% zoom, this is how it looks so far. Not too much, but with just a few simple HTML and CSS lines. Not too much, not too much. This is something that somebody could learn in the first day. A big ugly sound. Big ugly sound. This is something somebody could learn in a day or in 5 minutes. Just saying, if you know the right stuff, you can build amazing products. Now, we could do more. Let's see, what's your interest? What's your interest? More HTML, more CSS, more questions about how to start, the mentality, how you should prioritize, how you should figure out how many days you can work on something per week. How can you figure out if you can put 10 or 20 or 30 hours every single week aside where you can practice something like this. And every single time you start with something small, simple, and then you start to progress further and further. And all that you see right now is no longer going to be Chinese. It's going to be something that you can speak with your friends, just like you're speaking now maybe about football or something you're good at. Okay, let's talk more about it. More about that being coding, that being getting a job, because there are two different things. Coding and getting a job are two separate jobs. Getting a job is something different than being a web developer or a coder. Any JavaScript? Yeah, we can definitely do JavaScript if you want to have some fun. Let's do some JavaScript. Let's close this one, bam, 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 and do some JavaScript. Well, what would you like to, I don't know, see? Let's see. If not, I can figure something out. Maybe we can do some small game, not kind of a game, anything, an animation, a game, any kind of thing with JavaScript. Let's see what JavaScript gives us, more or less. So, a game. Cool. JavaScript games can be fun sometimes. So let's go on GitHub. Let's create a new project. New repository. Name it. Okay. What should this game be about? You can definitely make something move on the screen, maybe like a snake, like the old Snake game, or some character being animated. Fun with JS. Or some calculator. We can make a calculator. We can make a lot of stuff. Let's just have some fun with it. And we got this project. Whatever we write code, if we are to talk about it, you'll be finding this online on github.com, mariansburlea/funwithjs. Right now it's an empty one. There's not actually even a character in it. So it's just us thinking of this project. Fun with JS. Go to the terminal, clear everything because it's too much on the screen. Get out of from 0 with cd space dot, and then git clone git. It's not git, it's not clone. No. Let's do npx create react app, and the name of it would be fun with JS, right? Fun with JS. Yes, come on, do it. I hope Volta is not gonna mess this up again, because then I'm gonna hate Volta. So now I'm just grabbing a bootstrapper from the net. It helps me bootstrap projects with JavaScript and React, and it's called Create React App. There are similar ones: NXLI, Create Next App, PackStarter, Create PackStarter, and probably 100 or 1,000 or 1 billion trillion of them, because there are so many you can't ever know all of them. There are so many out there. So just have to know some of them very good. Snake game. That's interesting. Snake games. Snake games. Snake. I think I might need some keys, like left, right, up, down, or maybe WASD, and then that thing should move. I'm not sure how we should move it, or if we have any kind of constraints, left and right, how many left, how many right. What we can play with it. It doesn't really matter as long as it works, right? So cd fun with JS. And if you're on YouTube, you can see the entire code, which is more to the left, more to the right. So on YouTube, there is the entire code. And do subscribe on YouTube, hopefully. Da-da-da. So let's open the, do you open the Visual Studio Code editor? No, let's open it now. And this is Visual Studio Code with not much in it. Well, actually quite not much. What happened to all the other files? We got a README, we got a package JSON, this package looking, everything else is gone. I like this. I didn't know they cleaned it so much. When we got app CSS, I don't need it, app JS, I don't need it, app test, don't need it, index don't need it, and this one, maybe I need it, maybe not. Let me see if I need it or not. Okay, root comes from create root. Actually, I don't really care. I'll just remove everything and start fresh. But this is something new for me. This with create root. It's a new way of dealing with it in React 18. So all I can see it's you create a root by selecting the element that you want to render the React at from React DOM. React DOM still now comes from React DOM client. Okay. Okay. And then this root renders with React strict mode the app. So we got React DOM client, then root and root render. That's interesting. So what I would do for me to actually understand it, because it's new for me, and this is how most of the time I deal with them when there are new things. If I am to list here ls src, you can see that those are all the files inside src. We got app CSS and so on. So what I want to do, I want to remove all those files. So rm-f src/star. So now if I am, if I'm to look again at src, we can see that there are no more files. And also if I press Command B and I hide this toggle into src, there are no more files. So it looks like this project is kind of almost empty with the exception something public here and so on. So I have nothing in src. I'm gonna create a new file and name it index.jsx. and I'm going to write some code. A very basic way for anybody who's a beginner to do some JavaScript would be to either do this in the browser or in any other way. You can definitely get to this point where you can do this. However, one of the easiest ways for you to test if your first line of JavaScript works or whatever is to do a console log. So if you do console, C-O-N-S-O-L-E, C-O-N-S-O-L-E, console.log. And this log over here, we'll learn more about it in JavaScript. However, this entire thing, it's a function, not the entire thing, but this what I selected, it's a function. Whenever you somehow look into this one, it's a function, and functions in JavaScript, if you want to execute them, you want to put at least 2 round parentheses like this. And sometimes you also get to customize the execution of this function, and you can add some parameters, something like this one. I'm typing something you can't see because, okay. Again, maybe if I zoom it out a bit, yeah, you can see I'm still typing. So whatever I'm typing inside here, I'm gonna put some quotes around it. Might appear somewhere. Where? Let's figure it out. This is what we have in this project. One line with almost some mumbo jumbo over there. So what should we do? It's either yarn. If I do yarn, Volta might complain. Yarn start. Yes. Volta pin yarn. Volta install. Pin yarn. Okay, pin node. Okay. Finally. So if we look inside the browser, we should see nothing because that's expected. However, if we look inside the console inside the browser, we should see something because it is expected, and we should see, let's compare them side by side. This and this. Almost. Option Z. So you can see that whatever we wrote over here in this side, come on, let me draw on the screen. Appear here. This to appear here. This DAD appear here. This ASDAD appeared here, and so on. You can see all of them. And basically, we instructed through this line of code the browser to just print something in the console for us. Now let's speed this up a bit, at least get to a point where we write something that shows on the screen, not just in the console, which is a message. But this message tells us that so far we are doing right. It means that we are in control. Whatever we write here is going to somehow affect whatever it's on the other side. I'm going to go to public in this HTML and do a very small change, of one small change. I always do it. Well, more changes, but anyway. This is fun with TikTok and Stan and Bran. It's not Stan. And there's also title somewhere. Snake bite. This is the name of the app. So the snake will come and either bite you, or you'll bite somebody with the snake somehow, or you'll eat stuff. I don't know exactly. And this is the change that I wanted to make. I do not want to leave this as root ever here if it's my project. I want to say not root because I think it's lame. I'll name it snake game. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let's see. Import React from React, and it's not from this folder. And then import from DOM. React, come on, React, DOM, and there was something. Client probably. Okay. Const root, I think was, or initial. And this would be React, DOM. Is this find or? Because it's not render anyway. Was it React DOM? You forgot it anyway. React 18 new index. Yay. So it's create route or create root of that selection. Create root. And they are using here document get element by ID. I'm gonna use something different, which does exactly the same thing. So it's document query selector. Come on, leave me alone. Query selector. And this query selector is going to accept what? An element with the ID of Snake Game. Yay. And this is not initial, it's in. Okay, so I've created this one and now we need to render it somehow. So it's initial dot render. And we want to render what? I think I know. React strict mode. And inside here, probably a functional component. We're gonna quickly create one here. Const super small equals a function that returns a div with YOLO. And then this would be super small and we want to add it here. And are we ready? Yes, we got YOLO. My back is hurting, so I'm not gonna stay for longer, but we can continue this. Let's see, we got super small, which is our app. So far it doesn't do much because it's just inside that folder. I'll go to this side. Come on, right click, move to the right because that's my preferred way to write code. And now let's go inside src and create a new folder named component, which will hold most of our components. Inside it, I'll create another one named Snake Game. I'm gonna copy those ones and expand it. A new file snakegame.component.js. Actually, let's do JSX. Then a new file index.js. Okay. And let's create a new file inside component as well. Index.js. And now we got this one that is going to look for a different component later on. However, inside the Snake Game, we do import React from React. Then we do const Snake Game. It's a function that returns that listed div with nh1, hey, and the paragraph start the game now. Then a button with start now. Yay, we got the snake game component that doesn't do much. However, we can do... Well, we don't have style components. Let's add style components. Yeah, add styled components. Which is components, not components. Come on, Mr. Style Components. Load, because I'm falling asleep here and I need to finish at least something on the screen. Come on, Mr. Style Components. What is going so much? Are you downloading the entire internet? Come on. Well, because I prefer to work on a different way. I have some scripts that allow me to write different code, like create components for me by itself. Or I do with NXLite some other generators that generate exactly the type of components that I need. So far, I'm just want to have some fun right now. No setups. Just take it step by step. Relax. And we got snake game anyway. But good point. Good point in creating ways that help you write code faster. Definitely it's something somebody in my position or in your position as a web developer would want to do. Make themselves faster in doing their work. So snake game export default snake game. So this should be it here. Export default snake game from this file. Come on, with dot slash. Yes, got everything. So far it's just those two files that do something. Then I'm gonna export it from over here as well. So I'm kind of passing it up and up the chain through imports and exports. So I got import snake game from snake game. Now I can make use of snake game anywhere I want, even here. And if I do snake, now I can see that snake game has been imported. Almost good. I don't like it anyway. Well, actually, it's good because it's just inside the component. Yeah, that's okay. So I got snake game that doesn't do much right now, but it should do something. Maybe we have some text for us to see. Is localhost done? Okay, it's done. Stopped. Yarn start. And now it doesn't know what. Export default re-exported the snake game. Maybe I did something. Export default a snake game from snake game component. And over here we got export default snake game. And yeah, it does work. I forgot to save a file. And by the way, if you're working with this type of editor, if you see a file with this dot over here, it means this file has changes that haven't been saved. So it's easy for you to debug if those changes have been propagated. Just look at the open file or open files. If you see a small disk, white disk, then it definitely... I'm fighting my sleep. But don't worry, I'm still gonna be here until I finish something. Snake game. Yay. Now in this snake game, probably we need the component to be the snake head, and then another one to be the snake body, and probably another one to be the snake map. I'm not sure exactly, but we'll figure it out. Let's create here a new folder, square or tile, and this in this tile, let's create an index.js and then tile.js. component dot tsx, not tsx, jsx, and then a new one, tile dot style dot js. And this will be import styled from style components, export const style equals styled dot div, and this one, let's do border. Okay, border 1 pixel solid red, and then we got the style ready to be used. Almost. I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna remove the export or something else. I'm going to do const tile equals, and this will be an object with tile inside it, and then export default style. And then if we exported it in style, let's go to the component, import style from, and then wow, fighting sleep. Okay, const tile equals, and then return div, this is tile, and then let's do export default tile, and then this tile would also be in this index, export default style. Wow, from tile component, and then over here as well. Okay, tile. Good. Now, if we are to go inside the snake game and maybe we want to use tile, this tile is going to be imported from just the previous folder, not the previous, the most of the ancestor, the parent of the current one, whatever. Come on, Marian, don't get stuck into it. Now let's see. So far we got in the browser, this is a tile. Doesn't do much, however, do have a tile. So my idea now is to somehow draw something. Hai să vedem ce desenăm. Let's see what we draw. Ta-da-da-dam-tam-tam. So I'm thinking of creating some kind of grid somehow. And this grid would have some kind of number of rows and columns. It can be taller, it can be higher. However, any kind of grid, and if any number of rows that makes me happy, they could be even, they could be not even, the number of rows. However, let's say I'll have maybe like a snake head here, and I do not know how to create a snake head, but I'm gonna imagine a snake head is like this, and it has ears and hair. Definitely, that's the best snake head I ever drew in my entire life. I just need to point with an arrow and do some writing saying this is a snake head, because people might not notice such a great picture. And I would imagine that this snake might be traveling, let's say, maybe this way, maybe this way, maybe we want to change it to move down, and so on. So probably it will do something like this. and then we'll see what else we need to do to make this work a bit better. But I think this is a good start, a good idea. What do you think, guys? Is this something complex that needs to be understood? Do we need to speak more about it, or just go on with it? This is the idea. Create some kind of grid. Okay. We got snake game. Let's create a new file here. Snake game data.js. And for this data, let's do const map. This would be snake map. And this would be an array. And then let's do another one inside it. And let's mark it as something. I'm thinking of using maybe numbers. Numbers should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna play 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, whatever, 0. Dun, 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 dun. Let's do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, duplicate, move down, 1. Wow. Still fighting sleep. And let's do some weird ones anyway for us to see what happens. So we got a snake map here. Export default snake map. We can make use somewhere over here because we can loop through it somehow. So we can do snake map. No suggestions. Really? Because it's default, that's why. Import snake map from this one. This should be fine now. Snake map dot. And we need to pass it a function. And this function over here will receive some arguments and so on. And from the arguments, I'll take, well, an array. We don't need to destructure anything. I'll take an array, and for this array, I am going to probably, let me think about it. I'll take the array and then map on it. And then take this X and then put it inside the div. Okay, it's not working. How about now? Yay, not even now. And then put this X inside the div. Let's see what we've got so far. Not much. Why is it not happening much? Yay. S is defined but never used. Where is that in title? S dot title. Yay. It's only one anyway. Why it's only one, I don't really know. Let's try to figure it out. Got a snake game data and I got a snake game component. And if you go to sources, command P. What? Gonna take just a quick break. We need to add some kind of event here, and based on the event, we are going to move. I wanted to draw a grid right now, and somehow on top of that grid, draw the snake. But I'm getting tired and tired. I haven't slept since yesterday, and I thought I could do it more and more, but apparently it's eating me. So let's do a quickly use effect here. Maybe we can get some of the work done. Use effect, and this will get a function here, and this function would only repeat once. And on something, we'll deal with it. Let's see. Let's use a use state as well. Const current position and set position equals, and then use state of 0, 0, whatever. So that's our initial position. And let's see here. We want to call this every time for each probably 30 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds, and see what happens. So set timeout, and this will receive a new function. And this would say set position to be equal to, and let's just play with one of the values anyway. 0 it's always, and then this would be current position of 1 and +1. Okay, and then if current position changes, I want this one to run again, and the timeout would be 1 second. And let's see here, console log current position with current pos. Now what happens inside the browser, we'll figure it out now. Okay, so we get some console logs almost each second. Yeah, also almost each second, and we are only increasing the y. Good. If we are increasing the y, then we can definitely at least play with that y for a moment, because now we can pass that to probably, I don't know if style has sense now. Snake. And if we are to take a property, what property would we pass it to tile? Maybe pos, and then pass it here, pos. Maybe x is x and y is y, and let's do const and extract from pos x and y. Yay. So I'm not sure if this tile makes any sense right now, because it doesn't do much in terms of being a tile. And I'll pass here pos in terms of current pos as pos. Okay, So now tile receives the position. The position looks like an array, right? With two values so far. Just the second one changes, like dy. So what I could do for this snake tile, because you got up style over here as well. Come on, Mr. Snake tile. This one with one border, 1 pixel border head. Oh, my back really hurts. So if it receives a pose, we can play with it. We can do position, so let's say fixed. Then let's do left 100 pixels and top. And over here we can interpolate and pass a function. And this function is going to receive props, and we are going to take pos out of props. Okay, which is equal to empty object. And then over here we need pos y. So if we do pos.y, that's gonna give us a number, and maybe we add pixels. Let's see what happens. Is it changing it? Because I don't see it. Because top doesn't really get anything. Something is messed up here. Okay, that's curly brace, that's round, that's it. So I still don't see it. Maybe it's because tile is not receiving, probably. Because I'm not sending pos, I'm sending x and y. That's why. Okay, so instead of pos, let's just grab y, and we got it here. And as far as you can see, the snake kind of moves a bit, not too much. Only in one direction. Let's improve this a bit. Maybe +2 or +5. And now it moves a little bit quicker. I'm gonna take a quick break to see if my back is better, and let me quickly push all those changes so you can access them and look at what we've done so far. And later on we wanna play with this one, so the snake moves based on the last remembered position, and we can capture the keys and make the snake move left or right. I'm gonna keep pushing, but until I figure out how much I will remain. Let me push all those changes. Initial game idea. Yes. Now if we are to go back on GitHub, on what's the remote for this one? Marian's Bulla. Not here. Profile, Marian's Bulla, and on repositories we have fun with JS, and it's not pushed at all. What? Git remote -v, git add, git remote, come on here, git remote add origin, git add github.com /mariansburla/ fun with JS, git push -u origin, no, main. Clau, yes, I am Romanian. Bună dimineața. Hey, Charlie. User, nu mă văd niciodată făcând asta, e prea complicat. Super. Dacă te vezi făcând altceva pentru 100.000, atunci fă altceva pentru 100.000. Și dacă nu te vezi făcând nici altceva pentru 100.000, atunci spune papa. Că dacă nu faci nici pe asta, nici pe alta, nu știu, ce să zic, îți imaginezi că o să le faci din prima pe ce le fac eu? Nu se începe cu asta din prima, se începe cu ceva simplu din prima. Atât zic. Dar dacă nu te vezi, poate nu-i pentru tine. Eu nici eu nu m-am văzut și nici alții nu s-au văzut. Dar uite că acum fac asta. Trebuie să ai puțin încredere în tine și nu știu, puțin mai mult decât încredere, până voință dacă vrei să reușești. Că de reușit se poate, toată lumea poate. I do not know who you are, so... Sorry. Is this thing just going down? I think it's when it went down until it went off the screen. So we got our current position, doesn't do much, but at least we got our current position. We can also do another one to store maybe not the position, maybe the direction. So let's make a direction and zoom in a bit so others can see. Okay. Yeah, it's better now. So direction and set direction. And let's set this one as what, up and down? Not sure. Okay, up or down. Okay. And this is our start with direction. Then if we are to create another use effect here, and inside this one, let's pass another function. And inside this function, let's do what? Document add event listener, and then a mouse. It's either mouse down or it's like this, or not sure exactly. Not sure exactly how do you spell mouse down. Up. I can figure it. With uppercase, lowercase, if it matters, I can figure it out anyway later on. And then, so on mouse down, I want to take the event, and then I want to get the event info, whatever, console log event dot target, and for the target dot key, not sure this is something. Maybe just target. Okay. So I got console log. That one is still moving. And it still does it. And now if I press let's set this one for longer. There's no console log. Maybe mouse down, key down. Nothing is working. Why is it not working? Maybe it's key down. Nothing. Okay, document and event listener, key down. Okay. Yeah, it does work now. Every time I press the key down, I get something. How about it target dot key? Not sure if it networks, undefined. Key code. Nothing. So how do I get that blast, that key? Really? So I got body now. No, in that target object values. It's like it's not listening to me anyway. There are some noises coming from one side or another side from my house, but anyway, I think everybody's okay. So I got document add event listener. On key down, and this is the function that it listens to. And then const listen to that function, and then I pass it here. So then for the return of another function that will call document remove event listener, key down, and then this will be listened to. There's still something going fishy over here. However, this is doing something, but not much. So for this one, add event listener, document dot body. Don't think it matters really. Because I should see anything else but not that, because object values of target that gives me nothing. React on key down. So we might not have key down on what? On body. Tab index 0, ref equals. Okay, and over here let's do const is ref equals use which one, not use reducer. Wow. Use ref. Okay, so this ref is over as well. This ref goes into there. And now probably I can say okay. Wow, more errors. It's not a function. Okay, of course it's not a function because that current. And we got something which is a bit better. Okay, and now let's see. So I kind of got to this place where I can still see a div. Not sure why. Okay. What is going on? Why is this even not giving me any key? Running out of battery. Yay. Where's the key, man? I'm pressing, I'm listening. Maybe I need to listen like this. Still undefined. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. That's an indication. Monkey down is listen to. Snake component on line 17. Yeah, I'm lost. Guys, quick break. Not sure what will happen by quick break because my back is just hurting too much. But as soon as I finish whatever I'm gonna finish, we're gonna continue. You have the code up there, and I'm gonna leave some notes with all my changes, and I'm gonna continue after this. I'm falling asleep. We're gonna talk more about today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and for whoever starts before the 1st of September in the new team. We're gonna talk about the new news. So far, we talked about most of things. We talk about how to start and so on, but we never talked about how to get to from 0 to 300,000 because nobody got from 0 to 300,000 so far, and we got our first one. At some point, probably we'll do meetings, probably a podcast with him or more of those. And if you are in a position where you want to change your career and you're looking for something and you're looking for help, not for something to try, you're looking for help, definitely reach out. Thank you. See you next time.